Hi, I'm Susan, and today I want to show you Inchies. Inchies are this little 1" by 1" canvas you can do anything on. Here's just a simple idea of one of my many Inchies I'll probably show you. And it's just a great little project to do with kids, or a fun group project on a rainy day, or if you're just like me and want to do it while you're hanging out creating. Let's get started because you're going to want to make a few, and they're simple and fun and they don't use a whole lot of clay. Now you can create your squares with any solid color clay and they will look beautiful. If you want to make them that they gradually switch colors because you just like that look, the easiest way I find to do it is I just take some squares that I've cut out. These are about 2 inches square, and I'm just going to attach them together just so that they stick together as they roll through the pasta machine. But I find this too dark. I want more of a medium color, a medium kind of color shade of each, so I'm going to put a little white on this. Now I'm going to run this through the pasta machine about 15 times, and I'm going to keep folding it on itself just like this so that I keep those colors in the place they are, and I will come back. I'm back. I've run it through the pasta machine and I love this color mix. Now I have stopped right now because I have all these stripes going on. I really like that. I think they're beautiful and I want to keep the stripes in there. If you want to elongate them longer, put it through lengthwise this way. If you want to keep them just how it is, you run it through the wide side. So either way it'll work. I'm going to run it down. This was done on the thickest setting on my pasta machine. I'm going to hit it down 3 notches and do it on a number 3. Mine is the thickest setting is a number 1. Now I've got it all rolled out on a number 3, and I have these little pieces of paper that are 1" by 1" or 2.5 millimeters. Either one adds up the same. You can also use a cutter. I am not fond of the cutter because it has this little lip here that I don't like, where it crosses over and it gives an uneven cut. There are plastic ones that are seamless. They'd be a lot better. I don't own a pair. Now, an easy way to cut these, this is just a tile that I'm going to bake my little Inchies on, is I just take my little paper ones, I put them side by side so that I get it even, and I just cut it clearly across. And then it's just easier to chop up as I go. Now, I usually do 3 of each color because that's all I need to finish this up. And then I can take this, put it on my tile, and bake it on it. I have a lot of paint and stuff on it, so this tile's really ugly. Sorry about that. But it is my favorite tile. It's from the 70s, and I've been using it for 30 years, so give you an idea. It's been well loved. And all you have to do is move your pieces like that. And you'll get perfect little Inchies every time. You really don't need to get a cutter. If you like to get a cutter, that's fine. But I find just using a little piece of paper simply does the trick. I finished cutting my first set of Inchies, and I've done 3 of each shade basically just because that was the easiest for me to remember, and it was just about how far the clay went actually. Well, I need 25 to fill up the board that I'm going to use, so I definitely will need to cut more. The easiest way to do that is I have just stacked the scraps just in the same color order that they were, so I will just run this stack through my pasta machine and cut the rest of them so that I have all 25. Okay. I finished cutting all my tiles and I started decorating the first 3. I've done basically the same 3 designs throughout this entire pattern. And all it is basically some little lines, a big swirl, and sort of like a weird looking heart. Easiest way to describe it. And I'm just using my little tiny cutters. This is the set that I got off of eBay for 99 cents. There's 3 or 4 depending where you get them from, but I will put the link below. And basically all I'm doing is using the just a darker version of clay so I get that nice contrast, and then I use a medium tone to create the leaves, and you want to use a little bit lighter or darker tone so that the leaves pop a little bit. Now I'm going monochromatic on all of my tiles. You can do these all in multiple colors, doesn't matter, whatever makes you happy. To create a leaf, I'm just basically taking a small piece of clay. Now I am using a much larger piece than I normally would, only because my camera is struggling to focus on the smaller one. And I'm just taking a needle tool. If you don't have one of these, I have a hack on how to make that. That's another video. I'll link it below. And I'm just making veins for my leaves. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So I'm doing a lot of smaller ones of these, and I will go make these, put them on, and come back. I've added the leaves, and you can see the difference that that makes. And this one, I've already added the flowers. And to add the flowers, basically, I'm just going to use these. I'm using the smallest one that comes with the set and the medium one that comes with the set. I have some clay rolled out on a number 3 on the pasta machine. And these cutters are great because they have a little plunger in them. So all you have to do is press into it. I have it on a piece of paper so it doesn't stick. It'll go right into the plunger, push it out, and there you have your little flower. And for the smaller one, same thing. And just push it out. Really, really easy to work with these. These are just so fun, and if you have kids to work with, they love these. Now to add the flowers, I just put them wherever makes me happy. They don't have to all be in the same place. I like the randomness of it. I like that some have more flowers, some have less, some have more bigger flowers. Whatever makes you happy, that's the way we're gonna do it here. You know that's how I operate. Just play, have fun, and remember, it's an inch. Don't overwhelm yourself with silliness. So all I do is just place them in here. Now, if you're going to not put rhinestones in them, it doesn't matter. You don't have to have the rhinestones like I do. You can just take your needle tool and just give those larger flowers a little definition. Right in the center of the petal, I like to press in. It creates so much more definition to them, and it makes them look like there's a lot more detail than just simply a flower punch. Nobody would ever believe that you had a flower punch that small. Now for the smaller flowers, I like to just take a knitting needle, or you can even use a ballpoint pen, and just push right in the center there. It just gives those a little bit more right there. And I think I could use another little one over here, and you can see if it's flipped over, it doesn't look right. Where the plunger hits it in the center actually gives it a little bit more definition, so it's much prettier. Now, if you wanted, you could just take a little liquid clay and put a little dot of glitter with a brush in the center, or you could put a ball of clay. For me, I have a ton of rhinestones, so I want to use them up. These are size PP18, and this is a wax pencil. You can get these off of eBay in the nail section. They happen to have them, and it just picks those up perfectly for you. But if you don't have the rhinestones, it'll be just as pretty. I just need to use up these sparkles because my husband says that I won't live long enough to ever use them up, so everything I do has to have sparkles in it. Besides, who doesn't love sparkles? And now, if you do the rhinestones, these are glass rhinestones, I just push them in with my knitting needle or a ballpoint pen. Either one will do the trick. Now, for a little bit extra definition, I just like to take my needle tool and add a little bit of dots, kind of like baby's breath. And that's all there is to it. So I will finish up all of these, come back, and show you how we mount them. Well, I finished up decorating my Inchies, and I've baked them, and they're going in all different directions. No worries, we're going to straighten them out anyway. I baked them on this tile. You could use a cookie sheet, anything that's a flat surface. Just remember, whatever you bake polymer clay on, you can never use for food again. It's not compatible with food, so just keep it away from anything that you are using with food. Now, to get these off the tile, sometimes you can push on them and they'll move. For me, I just take my razor and just touch the edge. And you can see they just come right up. It just breaks the seal basically. So just touch it, see, it just goes right underneath it. So I am going to take these all off and we will start to arrange them. So if you're looking for a canvas or a base to put your little Inchies on, I found this at the dollar store and I thought this was perfect and easy to get. It's just one of these picture frame things. It's sort of like pressed board or whatever. And this is basically hot glued on. If you have a hot heat tool, you could probably melt this off, but not everybody does. So I'm going to show you just what I basically did. And I just basically pry this up because this is just another piece of press board. It's actually quite a nice shape. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I couldn't throw it away. And see, it's just cardboard that it's glued to, so it just comes up. Well, now you've got this weird shape in there, and I'm not going to like the way that looks. So what I've decided to do to salvage this, and you could do this with anything that you buy, is this is just some Mod Podge. You could use white glue. You could use anything. And I am basically going to add more texture to this before I paint it. And the easiest thing to use is paper. I happen to have some tissue paper here because I like the folds that you get in it. And I'm just going to scrunch it up and tear it into pieces so that when I cover this, I get all these beautiful little folds and textures, and it will look like it's supposed to be part of the background, not this big rip that's just stuck there. So I'm going to continue to cover this until I get it finished, and then I will come back and we will paint it. I'm back, my piece is all dry, and you can see where that piece came out, but once we paint it, I'm just going to use a little bit of craft paint. You won't see that at all. So I'm just going to coat this. Probably will take me 2 coats because it's so dark. But what I like about this is you'll see these kind of interesting folds and texture, and if you like, you can add another color of a wash on top of it. So I'm just going to continue to paint this box, and I will come back after I've got 2 nice coats on it so you can see what a perfect base this can make. And for $1, it's the way to go. You don't have to put a frame around it because it's got this nice 1-inch box around the sides, so it will hang off the wall perfectly, and it's already got a hanger, so your dimensional pieces will be absolutely perfect with this. And I finished coating my little bases, which are just boards from the dollar store, with the tissue paper and the several coats of white paint. But I still think they're a little stark. I have this Inca Gold. This is Old Silver. It's an odd color. I'm not really sure I would ever use it otherwise. You could also take some mica powder and mix it with varnish. I just want to tone this down a little. And so it's going to add a little bit of a kind of iridescence to this, but you can see how it's kind of accenting the wrinkles. I'm going to finish this up and come back because I really like the way that looks better, just a more toned down kind of goldish background than that bright white. Now I've got my tiles all laid out, and I decided that I liked that I had 3 of each shade and to just put them in a row from one to the other side with the colors going down that way. You can just jumble these up, throw them out, see how they naturally fall. Any way that makes you happy is the way to put them on. Now, I find that I like this extra edge on the canvas. If you want it to be more spread out, you can do that. I just cut a piece of paper. Actually, this was a bill. It's my way of getting back at people that send me bills. I use them in my crafts. So I just cut it 1 inch wide, and I just measured it along the sides and made sure that everything was even on the sides. So this one's a little bit off since I moved it for the camera, but it's okay visually. It doesn't look terrible. And I just go around the edges. The middle ones I don't think really bother me if they're not perfect or not. If you're looking at it now and it would bother you, then measure them all out if that makes you happy. It doesn't bother me. I like that organic look. And I'm just going to use E6000. This one's got a little, this is a better way to see how it looks. It's just a great glue for this type of thing, and I'm just going to glue them down one by one and let them sit for 20 minutes. This is black, but it doesn't matter what color it is, so you're not going to see it. So you only need a little bit at the back of each one. Elmer's glue will not work for this, and hot glue will not work for this. It will just eventually dry out and they will fall off the wall. So you need something that's got more of a silicone base. But I'm just going to glue these all on, and that's pretty much all there is to it. And here we have our beautiful finished Inchies canvas, and you could make this as a gift where everybody participates and does several of them or one of them a piece. It makes a great thank you, a fun little gift, and it's pretty simple to do. You don't necessarily have to do it with all flowers. That was just the easiest thing I could think of, and you'll see I do lots more different style Inchies. Now you know this is not the only one I made because that's the way I am. I have to surprise you with other colors. This one I had a rainbow Skinner blend that was sitting on my table I just wanted to use up, and I just really like the way it looked with this type of a thing, and just using this simple flower punches, how you get such a cute and fun design. Another one that makes a perfect matchup to that one, so that you could put them side by side on the wall and they kind of feed into each other. So you don't have to necessarily make one. If you have a larger group and you want to make a whole set of them, it could be a really neat gift. It's inexpensive, it's special, and it's fun. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you have lots of fun making Inchies. Thanks for watching.